Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Sports, and we're talking football. Regular football. We're going through the playoffs. We haven't really talked much. I've been too busy really dive into the playoffs. But it's conference championship this weekend. We got Denver and New England, and then Seattle and Los Angeles. But we also will give our opinions throughout the playoffs. It's been a pretty decent playoff so far. All the games have been close. Carolina almost beat LA to start. I think it took LA a last-second field goal to win. Chicago beat Green Bay on another amazing game that happened. Those last seconds, Caleb Williams threw up a prayer practically against LA the second week. But Chicago took care of business against Green Bay. Buffalo beat Jacksonville, which was expected. But again, another close game, last-second field goal, I believe.
It's been a very good playoffs.
San Francisco, Philadelphia was close. Chargers, New England. Chargers didn't show up for that game. That was a problem. Hence why they fired their offensive coordinator.
Right. I think that's going to change that next year.
But Chargers struggled against New England. That probably was the worst. Well, now I got to change that. Probably the worst game was the Houston-Pittsburgh game so far this playoffs.
And I don't think any of us are surprised by Pittsburgh going down in the first round.
No, we're not surprised by that, but that was the worst game. When it came to last week, I kind of was like I mentioned, you had Buffalo losing OT to Denver off of a few questionable calls, I will say, but kind of was both sides. Probably should have been a pass interference on one of the plays called on Denver. Should have been a pass interference. They didn't call it. And then, the next drive, basically the refs just gave Denver the opportunity to tie the game and then win the game in OT.
Right.
With the pass interference calls, which I get, right? If it happens, it happens. There's a few questionable plays. Could Josh Allen be out of Buffalo? I don't think this year that happens. But ownership right now seems a little bit questionable in Buffalo, which is weird. But, hey, that is what it is. The next game is probably the worst game. Never mind. Probably not the Houston one. Probably the San Francisco-Seattle one where Seattle won 41-6.
Yeah.
Was probably the worst one because San Francisco didn't even show up.
I also do. I mean, Seattle has a tremendous defense. So
they do, but I don't think you should be putting up 6 points in the playoffs as a decent playoff team.
Catching up. Yeah.
New England, Houston. New England took care of business against Houston. C.J. Stroud had a terrible game against New England, which helped New England practically get to the Super Bowl since Bo Nix broke his ankle on the second to last play of that Buffalo game. So New England, New England probably has guaranteed themselves a playoff spot, or not playoff, but a Super Bowl spot for the AFC. We will see how Stidham plays. I doubt it will be good, but we'll see. And then, like I was mentioning, LA ended up beating Chicago in OT, but no thanks to Caleb Williams just throwing up a prayer and Cole Kmet making that touchdown in the last seconds of the regulation before getting into OT. And again, they had the opportunity. Caleb Williams threw that interception, though. I thought they were about to win it with how they were moving. Took one interception. Stafford went right back down the field. And voila, LA is in the conference championship. So it's been a great playoff so far.
It's been really good, yeah.
A couple bad games. Which leading again to the games you have. You have New England going to Denver on 3 o'clock on Sunday. And then you also have LA going to Seattle. New England's favored by 4.5, as they should be, with an injured quarterback for Denver. And then Seattle is favored by 2.5 against LA.
Right. Like I said, I think people are counting Denver out too quickly. Denver has a very good defense. They're playing at home. I think they have the best coach in the league, Sean Payton. I think it's going to be closer. I don't know much about Jason
Stidham. He has his career is 5 starts, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, and 328 yards or something like that.
But I'm sure
he has one game stat basically through 5.
They are going to game plan around him, and you know what? I get. Let's see what happens.
Anything can happen.
Favored by
4.5.
4.5. So Drake May is. Everyone's telling me he's a rookie. Is he a rookie? Not a rookie.
No, it's his sophomore year.
Right.
It's a sophomore, yeah.
So Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I like Drake May. I think it's kind of fun to see the Patriots back um, without Belichick. I'm sure, like I said, that it's just a good organization. Uh, so I'm kind of happy about that. I think Los Angeles, Seattle. I think Seattle's just too tough at home.
It will be interesting. Right now, ESPN's giving the Patriots a 60% chance to win. The weather for the game is going to be 23 degrees in Mile High. You know, we'll see what ends up happening. Again, Drake May has had a fantastic year in the second year. 31 TDs, 8 interceptions, threw for almost 4,400 yards. He's only a few yards away from that. In general, though, stats are pretty equal between each side for the year. But, you know, when looking at injuries, Bo Nix is obviously the most glaring out of all of them. We'll see what ends up happening.
That's so horrible.
But in general, if I'm taking a guess at where we're sitting at, it's probably going to be New England, Seattle in the Super Bowl. If I had to make my prediction, though, I could honestly see LA going back to a Super Bowl. They're giving Seattle a 53%, well, 54% chance to win. The weather in Seattle will be 44 degrees, but they have a retractable roof, so if they feel like making it warmer, they very much can. But in general, you know, Matthew Stafford threw for almost 5,000 yards again this year. 46 TDs, 8 interceptions. Basically, it could be the 2 MVP candidates in the Super Bowl, too, if Matthew Stafford can win it. Drake May and Matthew Stafford are the top 2 for MVP this year. Can Stafford win an MVP before he retires? Obviously, as Lions fans, you know, I don't know where we're at this point. Honestly, if Stafford probably makes the Super Bowl, I'd rather have him win it over, you know, New England. New England has won it a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Stafford
and
fan.
At this point, no one will ever remember Stafford as a Lion.
Right.
Outside Detroit.
And also considering the fact of how a lot of the Detroit media and fans have treated him too, since he's left unfairly.
In the general public, he will be a Ram, especially if he wins the second Super Bowl and MVP. He will be a Ram. He will be always remembered as a Ram, barely remembered as a Lion.
Right.
That's the reality you have to accept. If you think you've hurt Matthew Stafford, you haven't, because now you are forgotten in history in his career.
Right.
So you're irrelevant to everything that happened to him. But we'll see what ends up happening overall. Like I said, if he can make it, that'd be great. Sam Darnold also would be the first QB from that draft class to reach a Super Bowl if he can get to it. Between the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, that draft class, he would be the first quarterback in that draft class to make a Super Bowl, which is kind of funny, seeing as, you know, there's probably about 4 or 5 other better QBs technically in that draft class that have made to not have made the Super Bowl. But Sam Darnold might end up being the one.
I mean, before the playoffs started, I think most people felt this was going to be an AFC Super Bowl win. They just seemed to have all the good teams, but with Bo Nix going down, with the Bills not being in it, it's and with, you know, the Jaguars and Chargers, I would have probably picked 3 AFC teams over Seattle if Seattle's going to be the one getting in there. And I think they should probably, like I said,
your only question is with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a hurt oblique. He played last week with the oblique injury. He's going to play this week with an oblique injury.
I mean, maybe.
How much will that affect him this game? Will it get worse this game?
I think LA would give the Super Bowl more cachet. And LA,
it's closer.
Patriots,
it's in San Francisco
right
now.
LA Patriots Super Bowl would be much more fun to watch, I would think. So we'll see what happens.
It could go either way. So this will be probably the more of the game to watch between the two. It's a 6:30 game too. That they made it the later game.
How much are the Seahawks favored by?
4.5.
So
2.5. 2.5.
Oh, 2.5. So they think it's going to be a close game.
2.5, 46.5 over under.
Yeah. Sam Darnold could implode. Who knows?
Money lines going towards Seattle. They're betting on Seattle winning. Again, Sam Darnold didn't have a bad year this year.
He did have a bad year the year before. We
didn't
crushed him, and then he sucked in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he hasn't sucked this playoffs, but he's dealing with the oblique injury now. So,
Right.
again, we'll see what ends up happening. Anything can happen. Could Stafford be sitting in another Super Bowl? Maybe. We will see. We got 2 14-3 teams facing off in the AFC. 12. There's 3 14-3 teams left, with Seattle being the other one. And then you got the 12-5 Rams, who are 5-4. If I could even look at the last time they played each other, since this is a divisional matchup, that would probably be key. I believe the Rams won the past 2 times I don't think they swept them this year. They won they lost late in the year by a point at Seattle. They lost 38-37 in Seattle about a little over a month ago, and then earlier in the year, if I can find the game, they won 21-19. So both games have been fairly close against these two teams. Both winning at home. So again, if you lean the way right now, you're thinking Seattle in a close game probably will pull it off. But again, it was 38-37, the final score for that game a month ago. So we'll see what ends up happening. It could again realistically go either way.
It's going to be a closer game than I probably felt.
No,
you could never count Matt Stafford out. It's awesome.
You cannot. But we'll see what ends up happening. If I had to predict what my Super Bowl is, it's probably going to be Seahawks Patriots is my prediction. You get a Super Bowl that happened
you know what? I'm changing. I'm going to go Rams Patriots. I thought Seattle was sure, but the more I think about it, I can't bet against.
You don't want to bet against Matt Stafford?
Not against Matt Stafford.
You have everyone here hate Matthew Stafford again as he wins the second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We went from cheering for him to hating him.
What is that? You got up there, Detroit versus the Yankees. What is that? February 21st. All right.
What's that?
We're a month away.
We're a month away from spring training. But
come on, weather, please.
No, it's 0 degrees right now. You'll deal with the cold of this cold basement. But anyways, we'll leave it here. You know, if you'd like to see, like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you felt about the playoffs, your Super Bowl predictions. Until next time, let's see everybody.